What if the secret to reviving your tired, lifeless garden wasn't buried in an expensive fertilizer bag or found in some exotic soil enhancer, but sitting quietly in your fire pit right now? For years, we've been told that biochar is the ultimate fix for depleted soil. But here's the truth no one's talking about. While biochar takes months to activate, there's an ancient, faster and cheaper soil-restoring hack that works almost instantly. Gardeners call it black gold, but nature calls it balance. Welcome to the forgotten power of wood ash, the quick-acting soil revival trick that's been hiding in plain sight. Biochar has become the darling of the regenerative gardening world, and to be fair, it does a great job storing carbon and improving long-term soil structure. But here's the catch. Biochar doesn't feed your soil right away. It's inert when fresh, like an empty sponge, waiting to be soaked in nutrients. It can take months or even years before it becomes biologically active enough to make a difference. Wood ash, on the other hand, gets to work from day one. When hardwood burns completely, what's left behind is a fine, pale grey powder packed with the same minerals plants crave: calcium, potassium, magnesium, phosphorus, zinc, iron, and more. These nutrients are already in soluble form, which means the moment wood ash touches the soil, your plants start benefiting. It's like handing your soil a ready-made nutrient smoothie instead of a long-term savings plan. This is what makes ash so powerful. It doesn't just sit there improving texture. It actively transforms your soil's chemistry and jumpstarts microbial life. While biochar prepares the soil for tomorrow, ash restores it today. So, what's really happening when you add ash to your garden? First, the calcium carbonate in wood ash acts as a natural pH balancer. If your soil is too acidic, nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus get locked away, out of reach from your plants. Ash raises the pH quickly, unlocking those nutrients and making them available again. At the same time, the potassium in ash fuels flower and fruit production, leading to stronger blooms and tastier harvests. Magnesium steps in to boost chlorophyll production, making leaves greener and more efficient at photosynthesis. Even the trace minerals, like boron, manganese and zinc, help power the tiny enzymatic reactions that keep plants healthy and thriving. But the benefits don't stop with chemistry. The calcium in ash also improves soil structure by binding fine clay particles together into crumbly aggregates. That means better drainage, more oxygen for roots, and easier movement for earthworms and microbes. These microbes, in turn, decompose organic matter faster, enriching the soil even more. Within a few weeks, your garden floor becomes darker, softer, and teeming with life again. Now, let's talk about application, because while ash is powerful, it needs to be used wisely. Too much can do more harm than good by making soil overly alkaline. For open garden beds, sprinkle 1 cup of clean, dry hardwood ash per square metre, which is about 10 square feet. Mix it gently into the top 6 inches of soil using a rake or hand fork. Don't leave it sitting on the surface, or rain and wind might carry away all that goodness. In raised beds, mix 1 quart of ash for every 25 to 30 gallons of soil. Work it evenly throughout so you don't end up with concentrated pockets that could throw off the pH balance. For container gardens, go lighter. Use 1 tablespoon of ash per gallon of potting mix. And here's a golden rule. Only use ash from untreated hardwood. Avoid ashes from painted, stained, or pressure-treated wood. They contain chemicals and heavy metals that could harm your plants. Want to take this to the next level? Combine your ash with compost for a supercharged, balanced soil booster that's both safe and effective. Here's the formula used by many experienced regenerative gardeners. Mix 1 part clean hardwood ash with 5 parts finished compost. Add half a gallon of water for every gallon of this mix, just enough to make it damp and crumbly, not soggy. Let it sit for 10 to 14 days, turning it occasionally. This short resting period allows microbes to balance out the ash's alkalinity while infusing compost with readily available minerals. Once ready, apply a 1-inch layer of this mix over your garden beds and lightly blend it into the top few inches of soil. The result? A mineral-rich, biologically active compost that feeds your plants gradually and safely. Timing is everything when working with wood ash. The best seasons are fall and early spring. These cooler, wetter months help the minerals settle naturally and integrate with soil life before the growing season begins. Rain helps wash soluble salts deeper into the soil, softening the ash's initial intensity while giving worms and microbes time to adapt. Applying ash during the hot, dry months of summer can stress roots and dry out the topsoil, so avoid spreading it when the ground is parched or when plants are in active growth. Think of ash as your soil's off-season reset button. Give it time to work quietly beneath the surface before you plant again. Not all ashes are created equal. For best results, always use ash from hardwoods like oak, maple, beech or fruit trees. These types of wood produce fine, mineral-dense ash that dissolves easily and enriches the soil efficiently. Softwoods like pine or fir contain more resin and produce less mineral content, making them less potent but still usable. If your ash looks dark or sooty, it means the wood didn't burn completely and still holds unburned carbon. Don't toss it, just mix it into your compost pile instead of applying it directly to your garden. Before using any ash, sift or crumble it to remove chunks. This helps you achieve even coverage and prevents clumps that could spike pH in certain areas. Here's the beautiful truth about wood ash. It's nature's way of recycling. Every mineral that a tree pulls from the earth during its life eventually returns to the soil when that tree burns. By spreading ash back onto the ground, you're closing the loop of regeneration. It's the perfect expression of sustainable gardening. No waste, no chemicals, no dependence on factory-made fertilizers. Ash embodies everything that modern gardening sometimes forgets. Simplicity, balance, and renewal. It restores pH, feeds beneficial microbes, improves structure, and brings back the natural fertility that chemical fertilizers often strip away. Biochar still has its place for long-term carbon storage, but when your garden needs a fast, visible turnaround, nothing works as quickly as wood ash. It's the forgotten miracle your soil has been waiting for. So, before you rush to buy another fancy soil amendment or synthetic fertilizer, take a second look at what's left in your fire pit. That grey powder isn't trash, it's pure garden gold. Used correctly, it can transform tired, acidic ground into vibrant living soil in just one growing season. Your next thriving harvest might not come from something you buy, but from something you've already made. If you found this guide valuable, make sure to subscribe to Timeless Crops Haven for more science-backed practical gardening wisdom that keeps your soil healthy and your crops timeless. And share this with a fellow gardener who burns firewood or prunes trees, because what most people throw away could be the key to bringing their garden back to life.